I think that people need to give people a little bit more grace because we all have our own things going on. And it's time to stop looking too deeply into what somebody else has going on. And I think that bothers people that they get that I don't care. But for the people who I truly care about, I express it, even them, they're like, you don't mean that because you're just so like, but I'm not going to go any further to try to prove it to you either. You got to believe it or you don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want you to lose for me. You'll be my latest victim. Why would you wanna do that for me? Why you wanna do that?
I said, mirror, mirror on the wall. All of a sudden wanna call.
All right, so I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. I'm going to do it one more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Give the people your name.
Manny.
Where are you from, Manny?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
What's your occupation?
I am a journalist, podcaster, all things media.
Okay. And is there anybody that you look up to in your industry?
Speedy Mormon.
Let's reflect. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Now, before you speak, I want you to give this a 10-second thought.
I mean, I just see a genuinely happy soul.
So, to the person who doesn't know it all, who is Manny?
Manny is a lot. She surely is. Manny has been through a lot. Manny has a lot to offer. Manny has a lot to see and a lot to do.
Okay. So, is there anything about yourself that you think people overlook about you?
If anything, I think people look too deep into me and give me too much credit.
They give you too much credit?
Mm-hmm.
Explain that.
Because of the person that I am, it's always some extra on it, I can't just say, oh, I didn't like that. Or, oh, I don't want to do that. Well, what you mean by that? Well, what does this mean? Or it's like, well, I just said it, I don't know. It's always like, but why? Or it's too deep. I feel like simpler people, they're able to just say something and it's it. I don't get to just say it. I always have to explain myself or do a little bit more. So it just be like, I don't get as much grace as other people.
Do you care about that at all?
I mean, in certain instances, I'm like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's just the reputation that I built. So you got to deal with what you put out there.
Okay. So, like, do you like that? Like, do you like that people feel that way about you?
I don't think I care. Like, I mean, and I'm not trying to say that to be nonchalant or like sound like I don't know. I have other things to worry about. I think that people need to give people a little bit more grace because we all have our own things going on. And it's time to stop looking too deeply into what somebody else has going on. And I think that bothers people that they get that I don't care. But for the people who I truly care about, I express it, even them, they're like, you don't mean that because you're just so like. And but I'm not gonna go any further to try to prove it to you either. You gotta believe it or you don't.
It's okay. So where do you think that comes from? Is that do you have a person where you kind of get your traits from, like a mom or your dad or?
Being from St. Louis is a very harsh city.
Mm,
You know, they love to big up New York about aggression and oh, I'm from the Bronx, I'm from this and Harlem and we've been through so much. No, St. Louis is like I know people that will kill your newborn for $500.
mm,
I know them personally. And so when you have possession of those type of people or you have seen things in your life, you don't have time to worry or feed into simple things. I literally I did not know if I would see the age of 25 and I'm a young woman. Why did I feel like I would be robbed of my life so young? Is because I've seen so many people die at such a young age. From my city, we've always been number one or number top five for the murder capital of the world. Well, not the world, but the country. Um, and so yeah, it's just like move along. Like we gotta keep going because we can't sit here.
Does the does your past, your upbringing, things that you've seen, does that come up? Is that a traumatizing thing? Do you have triggers behind that?
Yes, my husband, well, my fiance, but my husband, shout out to my boo. But anyway, he's like bringing them to the forefront. What people also don't realize is like we are who we are. We don't see what other people see. In my mind, I wanted to do that. I wanted to say it just like that. And I wanted to do it like that. I didn't think anything extra behind it. Oh, well, he's going to feel this way when I say it, or she's going to look like that. It's just like I was just being me. And so now my husband's making me more aware that, you know, some of the things you do or say, people don't look at it in the way you see it. But I'm just genuinely just being me. And I've learned through him how to kind of reverse some of it because it's like, oh, this is a trauma response when you do that. Or you don't just believe that I'm going to take care of that. That's a trauma response. Um, but I'm a survivor. I'm just used to doing things on my own or getting things the way that I want to. So he's bringing that to the forefront pretty much.
What are you a survivor of? When you say that, what do you think about?
St. Louis. When you see Sexy Red or and they looking like 2005 and, they running around and glow bow and, these are girls and, they really out there like that. And that's why I was brought up because of the person who I am now and I'm able to look a certain way and express myself in a certain way and, take speech classes to get rid of that accent or whatever. People can't believe where I'm actually from. I'm from that. And so I'm a product of that. So I really do feel that I survived that, but I will always love that. No shade. That's where I'm from. That's what I love. But yeah, I really survived that.
Is when you look back to those days outside of like St. Louis being St. Louis,
Mm-hmm.
is the I guess in your household, is it raining? Is it sunny? Like what were those moments? What can you tell us about your upbringing and your childhood?
So what's so funny is my mom, I don't even know where she came from or I don't know. It was very sunny. It was I almost delusional. People tell me I'm delusional all the time. I had a mom who was like, "You're a star. You're beautiful. You're everything. You're perfect. You're
Mm,
she would just feed and pour into me, but she would do that to everybody. Everybody has this personal relationship with my mom. And it was an era where people didn't realize how harsh crack was. And when people started to fall addicted, it was too late. And like the government was taking everybody's kids. This was like early 90s. And I would come home sometimes and she would have everybody's kids. Oh, they was gonna take these people's kids. And so we had to share clothes and food and everything because she just was that mother to everybody. And she made all of these hood kids with, crackhead parents feel like somebody. And to this day, every time they become something or do something, they credit her. So in the midst of like darkness and rain, it was my mom. And I'm just very proud to have had that. I literally don't know. I could be sexy red if I ain't had my mom. No shade. But it's like, I don't know the course of like where I would be if it wasn't for her.
Mm. And so, what about your pops?
I don't like him.
Mm.
um, so my father, when you are, can I even say this? When you're watching BMF and they keep going to St. Louis, they're going to see my dad. My dad was like, they really was going to see like his little people, like his minions, because he was like a kingpin. His car wash had seen millions in the 90s. That's where they washed all the money from. And still to this day, we have a place called the Workhouse. His picture is big all the way across the entire building because that's the biggest drug bust in St. Louis history was my father. So he contributed to the crack that was having all those people lose their children. And my mom, who was with him, of course, she was helping sell to make him happy. And he also was a pimp. And she was a madam. She wasn't a prostitute. But that was like early on until she realized what drugs was doing and she turned a whole new leaf. And that's when she started gathering the children. And I mean, yeah, I feel like he's still in hustle mode. He did go to prison for 11 years. And I mean, let's just put it this way. Just recently, I got engaged and I was like, well, the father of the bride is supposed to pay for the wedding. And he said, that's white people shit. And he just laughed at me and thought it was so funny. I was like, well, I'm not telling you to pay for my wedding, just like a dress or something, because he still makes a lot of money. He still has a lot of properties he was washing money through. He has a lot of stuff. And it was just like, I don't owe you anything. Congratulations to you. But if y'all don't have enough money for your wedding, I don't have to, ain't nobody telling y'all to get married. Just ghetto. It's just ghetto.
So, do you not like him because he was a drug dealer, or do you like what's the reason behind it?
I just don't like him as a person. He's very dry and matter factual, and everything has always been a transaction. When you're a drug dealer, you don't know where to stop. We're your children. It's just like, hey, he's never really given us anything. It's like, if I give you $20, when are you going to have it back to me? He has a car wash. One time he had to give me $100 and he was like, that's 10 cars. It's like, what? Like, what is that? So I'm your little girl, but he has 10 kids. So it's not, whatever. I don't know. I can go all day, but, he ain't.
Manny, I want you to admit something for me. And be very honest and truthful. Admit it. What are you addicted to?
Hookah. Hookah bad. Hookah real bad. Hookah with a little sprinkle of some fun, little fun on the top. Green fun.
Got you. So you smoking hookah every day?
I wouldn't say every day. I've gotten better. I used to smoke it every day, all day. Once I got pregnant, I went cold turkey. And I found out I was pregnant, like, I was only maybe 3.5 weeks. I found out very early. So even after I had my baby, I did not smoke for like 2 months after that. But yeah, he's 3 now. So I'm back smoking hookah quite often. But I give myself breaks on Sunday, Monday. So, but yeah, it's an Atlanta thing. It's just bad.
When did you move to Atlanta?
In 2015. Wait, but may I add that I've never smoked a blunt, tried any pills, any narcotics, any sniff. Hookah is like literally my only vice. So,
Oh yeah, that's
but I moved to Atlanta in 2015.
okay. Was that a game changer for you?
It was a big game changer for me because I always told people, I'm gonna get out of here, and I don't know. It was like I was extremely popular there. I had a hair company when I was 23. The first shop to sell virgin hair out of St. Louis because it is still a small community. And I was making $1,000 a day at one point, 2013. And I was doing so good. I was just like, I have enough money to leave and go to Atlanta where I'm going to become this big thing. And then I moved here, and child, everybody was selling her, men, kids, all the housewives, and it was just like, what? So something that was like special in my city that made me special was like me going up to people like, hey, I sell her, and it was like, me too. And I'm like, this is the worst decision of my life.
So you came here to sell hair.
To change my life and like become this big hair mogul. But Snob Life, Ming, she was already big here, which I mean it was money for everybody, but yeah, I was coming down here to be something that was already, I guess, taken.
Mm. So you ain't think to go back? Like you was like, I'm gonna just stick it out.
Not ever. I will never, ever. I mean, so far, how long we've been talking? Did it sound like anything you would ever go back to? It's just moving forward. I considered Houston or something. Now you got to go to places like Atlanta. You got to move to Texas. You got to move, I don't know, DC. You can't go back to St. Louis. Mm-mm.
So okay, what? Let me ask you this: you got here, it was unexpected, things changed, everybody's selling hair. So, but that's not what you do now.
No.
What?
I've done 900 things in between.
Mm,
I'm just a natural hustler. I've been working since I was 16, well, 15 really. Um, and I'm not too prideful to move on to the next thing. When you're making $1,000
that's
today
real.
with your own hair brand, it's hard that I had to tuck my tail. And like my first job here was Miller Ale House, where they wear bow ties and tube socks. So I went from all this glitz and glam and hair openings and looking a certain way to everybody congratulating me to move down here, and then like me hiding from people in tube socks and serving ribs. It was it was but I'm all about evolving and going back to square one if that means that I'll get to square five. I don't care.
You said that you married. How's that been?
I'm not married as of
Oh
yet.
yeah, you did say. I'm sorry, you said marriage. Then you said okay. You're
So I'm engaged. We were set to be married September the 14th of this year. And there was a big tornado in St. Louis that because of our new president, they really don't have FEMA. It was not talked about, but I wouldn't say it was as big as Hurricane Katrina, but it was big. People died, people lost their homes, people that I knew. And that played a major role. My wedding venue completely changed the amount of people that could come. And it's not like you could just get rid of 80 people on the guest list. So that happened. It was just crazy. So we did just postpone the wedding. But I mean, I'm still married nonetheless.
Got you. So is there a date that you dropping on this?
Not just yet. Because I mean, when I do it this time, you know you got to be all the way right now. You can't keep on like playing with people's lives. People, they bought tickets, they did the whole thing. So now we're still having an engagement party that day, but you know, just to accommodate and everything. And because me and my man are still Gucci, the postpone had nothing to do with us as a couple.
Got you. How is it being a mother?
It's different. It's very different. It's I didn't want kids. I didn't want kids. I've been an aunt since I was 9 and remember to go back to like coming home to other people's kids that I never really knew. I just been around kids my whole life. Even though I was a kid, I was always mature. I was just like, oh, I don't like kids. You know, this is not my thing. I don't care for it. Um, and so I really didn't want kids when I met my guy. And I was 30 and he was 27. And so I'm a cool
Oh,
girl.
you a little cougar, huh?
I'm a little cool girl. But no, when I met him, he was like, you know, you been 30, do you want kids? You don't have any kids. And I said, I want a husband more than I want kids. And he said, if I make you a wife, you know, will you give me a kid? And so I was like, yeah, you got to make me a wife first. Well, till his birthday came just 4 months later, and like, you know, he knocked me right on up, and I was like, oh, you know, now you done made me a baby mama. This is not what I wanted. Um, and then he just reassured me. He was like, I told you what I'm gonna do. Like, I want to marry you. I wanted to marry you with or without the baby. But this just makes me want to marry you even more. So, but I'm sorry, I didn't even answer your question. Being a mom is different. It's the best thing that could ever happen to a human being. I'm telling you. And this is coming from somebody who didn't want kids. To watch a little version of all of your genetics and the makings of you run around and like you just see some of your facial expressions or like the things that you would do. It's so beautiful. But baby, once you get over that beautiful part, it is just ghetto. It's just like your life will never be your own. Because even when they're 30 and 40, you know, that's your baby. And I love it. It's, uh, you know, parenthood is the best hood that you can go to.
Does I know you had mentioned that your father, you know, y'all don't have a great relationship, but does he at all tap in with your child at all?
Not really. I mean, well, he's in St. Louis, but he just doesn't value children. It's like, I don't know. He's counting cars that he washed and I don't know. It's weird. So he has um he has 10 kids and I think
Oh,
40 grand 30. I don't know. He has great
hold on. What?
greats.
You said 30?
He has like 30 or 40 grandchildren. And then some great greats in there. Like I'm a great aunt. My nieces and nephews are having children now. They're in their 20s. I am 35. You know, I don't mind saying that on camera. So yeah, I've been an aunt since I was 9 years old.
Do you know all of your siblings?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't meet one. He had died uh right when we were kind of connecting the dots. So I didn't meet one, but yeah, I know all my siblings. I love them.
Are you the only person that lives in Atlanta from your
Yes.
siblings?
I am the only one to move away. And they root for me. Like my family, they are dope. They may be some killers, drug dealers and whatever, but they just love me so much. Like they just I don't know what it was. They always like, you gonna do something. And I'm like, well, what? Tell me. And they like, we don't know, but you gonna do it. And I guess I'm doing it.
Are you doing what you want to do right now?
This very moment is what I want to be doing. I literally want to, be in the podcast world, in the podcast space. I feel like I have a lot to talk about. I feel like my story is interesting. And I have just a lot of views and topics that I do want to discuss. So, to answer that literally in this moment, I'm literally doing exactly what I want to be doing.
When you look in the mirror, I want you to be transparent about this question. It's a very simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy?
I am. I'm so happy. And it be bothering people. And it's weird. I have to dull myself. I have to shrink myself because my happiness it's too much for people. A lot of people are miserable right now. They're not happy with circumstances in life. And I'm telling you, I done been through everything too. And I think with the upbringing, it just makes you smile at the smallest things because it's just like, girl, you could be there. There's people who are still there. And so I am a Christian woman. I go to church almost every Sunday, and God, I got God. He's just very good to me. So I can honestly say, without putting on for the camera or making it sound good, that I am genuinely happy. And I'm almost certain anybody that truly knows me, they're like, you're one of the happiest people that I've ever met.
What contributes to your happiness? Like who, what?
My husband and my baby. Like, I don't need nothing else in the world. All I need is them, and they are. Oh, sometimes I get scared because I give them so much of my credit. Like, if anything were to ever, I don't even speak the words, but it's just like, oh, what would happen if we were to ever, I don't know. But they are my rock. They keep me grounded. They keep me going. They keep me focused. I love them. They're really good people.
Do you have any regrets in life?
Social media. I've been an influencer since way before it was a thing. With Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook. We're still figuring it out. I didn't know what lane I was in. I didn't know what was what. And so people were telling me I should be doing this or that, going this direction. And I didn't listen. And so I'm watching people do what I used to do naturally and make millions off of it. And I feel like I'm trying to join the wave a little late, but it's just never too late. But I do regret hiding some of the things that I've been like. This is the most transparent and open I've ever been. People are getting rich off just telling their stories, and I feel like I should have, kind of opened up just a little bit sooner.
True. What keeps your drive going? Like you always grinding. I remember meeting you and you were doing another thing and you were very successful at it.
See?
What keeps you going?
That family. Like my initial family, my mom, I will never let her down. The amount of strength to come in a house and deal, leaving a job where they were racist, driving past all these abandoned houses, driving through your friends who are now crackheads, walking up to your car, begging for money, stumbling through 9 kids that's not yours, and then to just walk up to me and be like, how was your day? You're so pretty. And you got these big old glasses on. I'm being bullied. I'm a little knock-kneed. I've always had big mouth, big teeth, And it's just like, she could have came in and been like this negative Nancy, evil, She had just passed all of that, and just to walk up to each individual and speak life, I can never stop. It's like, girl, you saw something and I'm about to find it, and I'm gonna put you up in a penthouse and a boat. I don't know. We gonna figure it out.
That's dope. So, do you have any mentors, people that you look up to, people that you could say like helped you get to where you at today?
Um, I never had a mentor. I've always been a mentor for people. When you've been through struggle, people are motivated behind that. But I will say, um, there was, one friend who she introduced me to manifestation and ask, believe, receive. So being a Christian, you're not supposed to cross the lines. You're not supposed to tangle that. And then being from the hood, you start talking about speaking to the universe, people gonna look at you crazy. They like, girl, what is that? You sounding
Right.
crazy, like the crazy people or whatever. So, um, at first, when you were trying to speak it into existence, it's like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're negative. Like, you're always finding something negative about something. Like, you need to be more positive, and you're gonna watch your life change. And it did. When I find myself being negative, I try to bring myself up. Even today with the situation, I'm just like, oh, I'm about to leave, Lord. I just about to go. I just about to just leave. I'm like, okay, you can't do this. Waited this long. But yeah, just that, like what she brought into my world. Like, I really needed that because, again, just being yourself, you not knowing what you're putting out into the universe. And I'm a joker. I'm like, ooh, girl, we're going to be broke forever. She's like, why would you ever say those words? Like, you're telling the universe you're going to be broke forever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Talking to universes and stuff. Like, but it was what I needed. And so shout out to her for that.
That's what's up. So, is like what is next for Manny? Like, what? Give us something that is next that you got coming up that you want to tell the people about.
So my official podcast should be coming up really soon. My blog is called Shoot the Messenger, where we discuss all the hard topics. As you all know, the term goes, don't shoot the messenger. Speaking into the universe, Lord. I'm just a deliverer. I'm not the messenger. But yeah, it's going to be hitting those hard topics, like about the president, about what's going on in the world, what people don't want to hear, because a lot of people can be sheep, but I don't care, because those nieces and nephews and all the young people that I talked about, they need to hear something. And people are trying to ride a wave and not be an eyeball out, and they're not mentioning certain things that need to be told to some of these kids. Like how I was a waitress at Follies for 3 years. They're trying to make stripping a big thing now, and it's just like, do you know? Like, no, that's the last thing you ever want to do is take off your clothes, But I also worked there. So who would you rather hear it from? Sexy, let me stop saying her. Cardi B, who was a dancer, but now she's looking fabulous. You're going to listen to her rather than me, who could tell you the hard truth and what they really were doing to get that money.
How do you say it's like? How do you say I was a waitress at a strip club, but don't take your clothes off? Like that. Like what do you? How do you feel about that statement? Like,
but since when is serving drinks the same as showing your vagina? Because I never had to do that. That is the misconception, and no shade to janitors, but since when do people look at the janitor as the CEO? And I'm not saying the waitresses are the CEOs and the strippers are the janitors, but I'm just saying this is the one space where they try to just bulk you up. It's like, oh, people have grabbed my vagina, grabbed my boob, and it's just like, I'm literally bringing you a cranberry vodka. Like, that's it. All of these spaces that I've been in, I probably damn near, wasn't supposed to be there, but the money was great. But having regulars, never had that. I didn't sit around and congregate with these people. I'm literally here to give you a tequila on the rocks, I don't have that same story. No shade. Some of them girls went on and do other things. I'm not trying to make myself sound good. That's what it in the cards for me. I came to serve you drinks. And I like a little strip club. So if I'm gonna see a little titty in the mix, whatever, and then I like the girl stories. They so cool and they've been through a lot and they're fun. I've always liked to kinda be in the mix, but not be in the mix.
I get what you're saying. I get that. I get that though. For real.
So it's no shade, but
I get that. I get that. Okay, so to that 20-year-old younger you, what advice do you have for her?
do it sooner. Just do it. Just push for it and get it done. Don't let the naysayers stop you, because you can do it. So many people will project their reality on you. I've always had this big whatever people saw, and I was in these relationships where guys would, you're delusional, you sound crazy, girl, you're broke, how you gonna do that? And I would never forget one of my exes that I was just so in love with, and I don't know what was going on. I was just talking about, I remember Amber Rose and Wiz Khalifa started dating. That's how old it was. And Lola Monroe, she was starting to rap. And I was like, look at the girls, like, doing what they want to do. And, it's becoming a new time. And he was just like, you're never going to do anything that you want to do. It's all fake. It's fabricated, blah, blah, blah. And just recently, like, he reached out to me. He was like, I just want to say, like, I'm sorry. Like, you did everything that you said you were going to do. You said you're going to move out of St. Louis. You said you were going to start this. You said you're going to get a husband. You said you're going to have a kid with your husband. You're not going to be a baby mama. You're going to do all of this. And he was like, you literally did all of that. And so he apologized. I didn't realize how much that meant to me. But that meant a lot, their reassurance. But yeah, just do it sooner, because people will project on you. People you care about, people who you really value their opinion, they don't mean nothing. Do it sooner.
Do you have any closing remarks? Anything you want to let out, say, speak on?
To you, no, just fine.
Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
literally joking. So what would I say? Just back to the projection and being everything. I mean, what is it? The army, be all you could be? Is that the phrase for the army? That is a real thing. Like, the roughest, toughest people used to have to say that. Be all you could be. Do it all. You don't know what you're good at until you do it all. Look stupid doing it. Look cool doing it. Do it till you are tired. That one thing that keeps you up at night. It keeps you tossing and turning. You keep thinking about it. Do it. Just go do it and just see. Nerds are getting rich. Aiden Ross and all of these, they're dorks. Like, what? Like, they letting the nerds in, y'all. Go do it. What could you do wrong? Like, what? I mean, Casanat is like, what? Drewski, like, just go do it. What? Just go do it. So, I don't know. That's it.
Thank you for being transparent. I appreciate you. That's
No
a wrap.
problem.
Yeah. That was very entertaining.
Was it?
Good luck again. Sorry about all the mishaps.
ready.
I ain't gonna lie. I did. I
Oh
thought
shit.
you left. So when you text, I was like, oh,
No, I was so I had just walked out. I only been outside for like 4 minutes when I texted you.